Good morning, you beautiful souls. Welcome to a Sunday Satsang service. Now, I'm really excited for this one because there's nothing more important than learning how to not only protect yourself energetically, but really heal yourself from the kind of damages and chaos that's happening around you. I know here in the Pacific Northwest, we're dealing with, the wildfires or arson fires. And there's also a lot of people that right now that are getting kind of, you could almost say, activated. And although there are a lot of light workers getting activated to really fulfill their life missions, there's also a lot of negative people getting activated by a lot of the craziness that's going on. And energetically, it's always important that you protect yourself, you cleanse yourself, and you let people go that don't serve your truth, that don't serve the truth, and that don't align with the reality that actually exists. So just take a nice deep breath in and a simple exhale to let go any tensions of the body. One more time here, focusing on the emotions and letting it drop away. And again, a nice deep breath here, allowing all those thoughts just to dial down. And as we begin with the powerful Om chant, we allow ourselves to shift our attention to what the Om truly means, that divine presence, that threefold manifestation, and that fourth note of silence, the stillness and emptiness of our being. In short, the I am presence within you. And with the final tap of the bell, we allow ourselves to shift the attention away from the fading sound into the silence of our own being. As I lovingly invite you to dive deep within yourself, to awaken on this level of the heart, to ignite your blaze and transcend. For it's here in the silence, the stillness of our being, that we can come to know the peace, the harmony, the balance that lies within us. There's nothing more important than coming to tap into our true nature and the pureness in which we really are. And in these times of chaos, of frenzy, of extremism, we must come to see it as a full-fold circle, with both extremes meeting at 6 o'clock. But the path to our heart, the truth that lies within us, lies within it all, separate, the observer, the silent witness, not operating in thought, emotion, or sensation, but intuition. It's here we must come to understand this is the true ground of our being, to detach ourselves from the temporary happenings, to marinate in that calm and loving presence within. There is nothing outside of you, for all lies within. In this world, we must come to recognize that all is peace and love, and it radiates from us. There's nothing more important than learning and recognizing this divine space within you. Allow yourself to take a long and deep inhalation. And with each breath, you draw in more of that loving light around you. From the ether, the cosmos, this sea of energy in which we are immersed in always. Allow it to simply drop away, pulling away all negativity, fear, otherness, separateness, and inner tension. Again, take a deep breath. And allow yourself to envision a sphere of light around you, your own auric field, your own energy field, your own magnetic field. The name matters not. But just like an atom at its center has its own atmosphere of electrons around it, here you must see you too have your own field around you. Again, take a deep breath and allow that sphere to be illuminated. Like the radiant star you are, allow it to shine forward, outward at all angles. Again, take a deep breath. And as you envision yourself being immersed in that sphere of light, it becomes so bright you can't even see your own self anymore. Just that radiant light. And with the following breaths, simply shift your attention to this silent witness, this observational state, the silent looking, and come to understand if you see any thoughts, emotions, and sensations arise, that they are being observed. And your sole intention is to sit and visualize. This is the subtle yet impactful and powerful opportunity to recognize that the body has its own operational state, separate from you, the controller of it. And with each breath, visualizing your star illuminating around you and within you, you gain more space and clarity and recognition to these happenings and understandings. For it's here within this womb of light and love. You can cleanse and purify your own space within and around. With each inhale, you take in more love, harmony, balance, and vital forces from the ocean of cosmic energy around you. And with your exhale, it transports anything within you that causes disturbance to be expelled from the body and recycled back into this ocean of life. Know that each breath cleanses you. Each breath consumes all doubt, fear, tension, and sense of otherness and separation from life, allowing you to finally know yourself as life itself. It's here you may feel that light radiating and shining from your center point, that heart space observed. But like the center of a star, this is where the reactions within you are happening. It's where that light originally radiates outwardly from. And within each breath, those dynamic forces heal and protect you. Take a long and loving deep breath as you wash yourself with those divine energies, those fiery forces around you to cleanse your body. For you are marinating and bathing inside this womb of light, and it dissolves all falsity, allowing nothing but the truth to remain. As you continue to breathe and purify your sphere of light as it shines brighter and brighter, it acts like a shield. It's a filter, a layer of protection in which you bestow upon yourself with the power of your consciousness to help you navigate freely without getting impacted by the lesser natures and forces around you. It's an infinite source of energy, for it's renewed with each breath to empower you to conquer and overcome any adversity. And it's here we utilize this light of love, the shining star and brilliance that you are, to liberate yourself from all around you that don't serve truth. For it's here we have the loving inspiration, the guiding light, and the inner peace to sever all threads of attachment. It's here we let go of the reactionary states. It's here we let go of those who abuse our shine. It's here we let go of those that allow us to pull outwardly away from our truth within. And know that this letting go doesn't mean an abandonment. For many, you cannot cut these people out of your life entirely. It is severing those threads of attachment which bring you away from the inner peace that is ever present within you. Gaining deeper understanding to that all disturbances arise because you give them power to. that we remind ourselves this life is a game of affection, and that all in which we give our loving attention to, we create, we manifest, we give life. Know that when you let go of this urge, the reaction, the impulse to respond in these lesser vibratory ways, that your anchor, your muscle to remain in that truth grows stronger and stronger. For you are the peace itself, you are the love, you are the light itself. Take in a deep and loving breath and hold the inhalation as long as you can before comfortably exhaling and letting the body simply drop the breath away from you. So too you sever those cords of attachment that still remain effortlessly to remain in the truth of your heart, to become undisturbed, for in truth, nothing that happens around you means anything. For it is your own I am, it is your own me-ness, your beingness that determines how to react, how to respond, how to perceive this world. Again, we take a deep and loving breath, radiating that star of light around us and within us, holding it as long as we can. And as that exhale drops away, we free ourselves of expectations that lead to suffering and our assumptions that lead to judgments, to simply openly perceive life for what it truly is, without our own veils and lenses of misperception and conceptions, to misconstrue this life and world in which we live. Here we take one more deep, loving breath, holding that inhalation as long as you can comfortably. And as we let go, we allow the clarity within us to consume all doubt, all fears, and any tensions that may remain. For it's here in which we recognize you are the calm, you are the love, the balance, the harmonious ocean that lies within us and around us. For it's here when we fall into that space of the heart in truth. Nothing in the external world can impact you when you protect yourself with this sphere of light, and its fires consume and dissolve away all falsity. You purify yourself like taking a bath. You protect yourself, always gardening that armor of light. And you cast out all veils of delusion that causes you suffering. This is the power that each of us has to heal, to transform. And know that this sphere of light never goes away, for it is a part of this physical body. But it is this energetic field, this energetic body, that receives all happenings prior to this dense physical one. Just as when one of us enters into a room filled with tension, as if a fight is going to break out, we can feel the aggression. We can feel the tenseness. And as that tension builds, the body begins to react, but on this fundamental level of energy and life, you are perceiving it through this sphere, an aura, an energy body first. It's your energetic body which can tap into the emotions of others. It is the energetic body that acts like the antenna for the brain to have thoughts like a radio wave getting picked up by your antenna. It's here that feels the feedback of the body in truth. For when we gain separation from the physical attachment or in what we call the zone or the flow, there's no perception of the body, there is simply intuitional and effortless action. Come to know yourself as that rider of the horse and grab the reins through this practice of self love, self protection, self healing, and transformation. For it will be that loving and powerful tool to help you traverse through any adversity, conquer any challenge, remain calm in any storm. For in truth, that radiating protective light stems from you and is ever present. All it takes is a few breaths and conscious focus to activate your own natural field. And when done consistently enough, consciously enough, and with the love to utilize its protection to help illuminate others, you no longer act like a leaf flowing on top of a river, but become the boulder, immovable, that forces the water to flow around it. For again, it's here in this heart space that nothing seemingly outside you can impact or tarnish your harmony and peace within. With a deep and loving breath, when you hear that tap of the bell, we allow ourselves to chant that powerful Om and visualize your light shining so bright it becomes a beacon expanding from the earth, casting out all negativity that doesn't serve you or the truth of life in this universe itself, and serving as that beacon of light, of hope, and inspiration for those that can see your true shine. Namaste. I bow to that divine within you. If you have any questions considering our guided meditation portion just concluded, feel free to ask those in the chat box. I have one that wasn't really a question, it was more of a statement. Um, and it was in response to an IG post or Instagram post that I made in my story. And the thing about that is, it was about littering. And well, I guess I'll answer that with this statement is I thought spiritual people weren't supposed to be mad. And that's a huge misconception. Um, I think one thing that needs to be understood is that whenever a sense of, I guess you would say, passion or, yeah, you can almost say a little anger, disappointment more so, um, comes out, it's very different than when you're kind of immersed in personhood. It's not going to have you say things and do things that are egoic or unnecessary. It's just something that when I see selfishness, because on my way home, I saw two people flick cigarette butts, and the other one drop trash and flick a cigarette butt outside of their car window. And that stuff to me is like littering to tarnish the planet that gives you life is not only incredibly paradoxical, it's just plain stupid. And it's selfish, and selfishness really gets me. Um, those that don't serve truth can, depending on what the action is, can really get me. Ultimately, I always see is the compassionate front, like, wow, that's where they're at. I hope that they can wake up to the truth and no longer act in such a way. But I don't go off and be like, rah, F this mo effer, like, and turn into a road rage. Like, I think that's one of the fundamental differences is when you create that distance and that separation from the thoughts and emotions that arise within you. They don't control you consciously. They're feedback. When you feel the anger, when you feel sadness, when you feel like, oh, I shouldn't, like tension, they're signals and signs, and it's up to you, the consciousness, to be able to interpret them. But most importantly, it's for you to grab the reins and still keep riding. And as I kind of just briefly touched upon, whenever I do have any type of sensations like that, because I'm human, they come up. And as the world is kind of getting ever more off its rockers, you're seeing people either really kind of fall and gravitate towards that truth, or they're really getting sucked into their delusion and kind of acting batshit crazy. So, with that, I don't take it personal. And I think that's one of the things about the spiritual aspect is that you separate from the person to really align with like the spirit, to your consciousness, to what governs the body, not the person itself. And because it's when you take things personal, when you assume, when you have expectations, and you create these judgments and these letdowns and cause your own suffering. And when you simply see someone doing something and say, I don't like that, I really hope that you don't do that in the future. That's drastically different than holding on to it and being like, oh, I can't believe that person did this, and letting it disturb your inner peace. It's like a wave that kind of comes and goes. It's not that I'm diving into or getting tossed about by it. I just kind of let it pass and keep moving on with my day. And that's the most important thing about this kind of energetic practice of protection, because each of us has the capacity to not let the wildness, the delusion of this world impact us. It's up to each of us to really pivot that reactionary state, to really level up and transcend the base modes, the human behaviors, the repult, I guess you would say, like the immediate response, the reaction, the impulse, and to observe it all at a distance. And with that sphere of light, that protection mechanism that you bestow upon yourself, you do just that. You allow everything around you to kind of just flow around you so you can see things clearly. So you can check your own biases, so you can see your own conditioning, so you can see the emotions. And realistically, when you do this enough, all that stuff just turns off. And then it's just that stillness. It's that pure observational state. Like I often tell people, like my students personally, like my awakening of the mind. And, when they ask me, like, what are your thoughts? Like, I don't have them anymore, to be real. It's few and far in between. And that's because we're not thought based beings. We're intuition. We're in the heart. We're with the flow of life. The universe flows through you as a focal point. And it's very important that you remember that it's life expressing itself. Because again, it takes that separation and allows you to really recognize your source and what you are versus what you're embodying. Because you are a spiritual being having a human experience. It's not the other way around. So, may the fruit of knowledge offer you a seed. And in that seed, may your love, will, and intuition give life and nourishment. For a tree shall grow, and in its shade may you find peace, and offer peace to all who ask. Remember, you are that light, you are that love. When you allow yourself to really marinate in the presence within you and not hold on to anything, it's beautiful. You'll quickly see all that doesn't serve truth and doesn't serve life itself fall away from you. And there's nothing wrong with that. And if you're in a situation where you're with beings that are immersed in Maya delusion, it gives you the center point, that harmony, to simply be and not be pulled in. I love you so much. Thank you for joining me this morning. Don't forget Wednesday, 8 p.m. Namaste. I bow to that divine within you. And there's nothing more important now than really bowing to the divinity within yourself and serving that truth of the heart. Because again, nothing, and I mean nothing, will faze you when you marinate within yourself. Take care, have a great day, and make it a great week. Peace.